Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this video series, which is Sustainable and Green Solutions for Urban Environments. Before showing the remodel for the old Hotel Alexandra plot, it is important to know what sustainability actually is. I mentioned sustainability, but never actually explained it. With that, I also need to fill you guys in on the main types of infrastructure used today. So moving on, what is sustainability? Sustainability in construction is using building materials that stay in good condition for longer periods of time, mitigate climate change, and increase the resiliency of a city system. For those who don't know what resiliency is a system's ability to stay stable despite outside pressures. What this means is that if a system is resilient, it will be built to last, not to crumble. Sustainability is extremely important right now as our population continues to grow and environmental pressures worsen with time. Speaking of sustainable materials, two subtopics of it include recycled materials and long-lasting materials. Recycled materials are considered a sustainable material due to the fact that instead of using new resources to repair or build something, it gives old material new use. Recycled materials often take less energy to manufacture, which also contributes to climate change mitigation. A good example of this type of sustainable infrastructure is seen in Aero Aggregates products. This company specializes in developing roads using recycled glass filler instead of sand and rock. This is very important as their product is 90% lighter than regular road fillers while being just as strong and is also sun reflective, which combats the heat retention issue I mentioned in part one. As for long-lasting materials, they're considered sustainable as they have a longer lifespan than, say, road concrete, which needs to be repaired every few years. In having a longer lifespan, they consequently release less carbon dioxide as factories need to reduce less of this material for fixing or building. A good example of sustainable material is bamboo. Bamboo is lightweight, very durable, and more resistant to rot and infestation than other types of wood. It would only need to be repaired every 40 years or so unless you attempted to actually do damage to it. So continuing on to the types of infrastructure, the most commonly employed is gray infrastructure. Gray infrastructure is traditional building styles that are usually impervious to water and make a major portion of city structures. Concrete falls into this category naturally. Although this style of infrastructure is tried and true over hundreds of years, it is mostly counterintuitive to quality of life within cities when used in mass quantities. Its impervious nature is great for water management and fast development that has many downsides to it. For one, being impervious is nice in some cases, but can lead to mass flooding. Without the ability to drain water from its surface, it acts as a pathway for water to travel on. In hurricane events, this is terrible due to the fact that once sewers fill up, water will travel on the surface of the road until it finds a place to drain. Additionally, as mentioned, it often has a very short lifespan before needing repair and is very absorbent of the sun's rays. Even if mass gray infrastructure installation used to be the big thing in building and construction, it is a practice best avoided in the future. So the other big type of infrastructure is green infrastructure, which is a weird concept as it seems like a subtopic of sustainability, but is a separate concept from a literature standpoint. Green infrastructure is comprised of natural and man-made development solutions that help mitigate climate change and increase city system resiliency. In effect, it is using nature such as trees, shrubs, and grass to increase the quality of life for a plot of land. So green infrastructure can be broken down into the four main categories: red, blue, green, and white. More than one of these categories can be applied to a green service if it fits the category description. So green infrastructure is known as earth products, and it provides noise abatement, pollution reduction, and cooling for cities. It also increases the biodiversity of an area. Green is mostly made up of vegetation, such as trees and shrubs. Next is blue, known as the water category. It provides cooling, purification, and water infiltration services through things like lakes and streams. Falling is the red category, known as the energy category. It provides energy and heat abatement, with one example of it being solar panels. Although not a natural product, it still falls under the green infrastructure. The final category is the white category, known as the air category. It combats pollution, heating, adverse health effects through ventilation and air quality. A good example of this is, once again, vegetation, which links back to what I said before, where some of these services can fit into multiple categories. Overall, green infrastructure is the direction we should be heading with new city developments and remodels. Should we choose to continue on a gray-only path, our cities will crumble under the weight of outside pressures. This is not to say we should totally abandon gray infrastructure, though. It's catered towards quick building with a high strength is still needed to keep up with the constant development seen by cities. This is why many are arguing to mix gray and green to provide better finished products.